Welcome to Daily Meditation with Zohar Lavie.
So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday session of the daily meditations on our theme of a compassionate response. And very heartwarming to sit here and read the greetings and feel also the greetings in the chat coming in from so many different locations in this world, in this planet, and such a warmth connecting this Sangha, a warmth and a heartfelt dedication to our practice and to the well-being of all. So really feeling that this morning and feeling that in the chat, in the comments, in the sense of the gathering of our Sangha today. And if you're joining us for the first time this week, then I'll say that I'm Zohar and I'm leading the sessions this week. It's been such a delight so far, and so much gladness that comes through the being as we explore these teachings together and these practices, and such a rich exploration. So looking forward to today. Maybe I'll also mention already that some of you like to call it today's Dana Day. So of course every day is Dana Day, but mention Dana on Monday and the opening day of this week, and mention it today as well. And George has kindly pinned the Dana link for us. So just remembering that this whole coming together is an act of Dana, is an exploration of Dana, and very much offered to us freely, and the opportunity, if we wish and if we can, to support Sangha Live, to continue to offer this, and to support myself to continue to offer the teachings in this way. So the link is there. Of course, don't go now. You can save it, go later. But all the information on how to offer Dana is there, and whatever you offer this week will be shared between Sangha Live and myself. So today we're going to continue our exploration of compassionate response, continue the exploration of both cultivating compassion and applying compassionate intention to different aspects of our experience, or in different ways. And I think on Monday, on the very first day, I may or may have not mentioned this teaching of the 2 arrows, which is very pertinent to our practice. That, we meet pain, and in this particular teaching, particular text, the description is of a physical pain, which is, unavoidable in that moment. We stub our toe, a muscle seizes in the body. So there's some form of pain that is present. And then our tendency to react to it in ways that build more dukkha, more suffering, more distress. And, I sometimes speak about this as, the unavoidable pain of having a body, heart, mind, which is sensitive and vulnerable, and will experience unpleasant experiences on the whole range, from very mild and transitory to much more serious and difficult. And so there's the unavoidable layers of pain, and then the workable aspect of our distress. And with both of these, compassion really comes in. Yeah. Then this teaching points to how we attend to something really impacts how it appears and how it continues to appear. So this kind of the initial experience and then how it's met or how it's related to. And so, you know, we can say our pain is unavoidable, having a body, heart, and mind, but then how we meet it impacts so much, yeah, the degree of suffering in the experience. And this is very much what we've been exploring over the days. So yesterday we were speaking and exploring this habit that we have of turning away from the painful. And I remember not to turn away so I don't disconnect from the mic here, and you carry on hearing me. But I'll do it again just without speaking. That kind of turning away from that which we find difficult, as opposed to turning towards or staying present with it, and how compassion is a turning towards and brings more connection and more intimacy, and actually also can then become a source of strength for us. And it was coming in your reflections at the end of the practice yesterday, this sense of, you know, actually counterintuitively, the turning towards and that sense of intimacy and connection can become a source of strength, of resilience for us. Yeah, this interconnectedness. And certainly, you know, there's something I find in my practice, you know, many times, just, you know, it's what I do most mornings, especially when I'm here, but not only here being Palestine and Israel. Is in my practice just having that sense of radiating compassion in all direction. So it's not even like directed to a particular being, but just tuning into it and radiating out and feeling that flow really supports the capacity to meet what is happening with less contraction. And then that can be a resource for action in whatever way is possible for us. In whatever way is possible for us. So that sense of meeting what is here with less contraction, that's where well-being and freedom are. And we can have degrees of well-being and freedom even when we meet the difficult and the painful and that which we really do not want to see in the world. Yeah, and still keep that sense. So when we meet something with compassion, it doesn't mean that we're saying it's okay. But we can meet it, acknowledge its presence, turn to it with tenderness and care. And as we do that, and as we radiate that compassion, which is an active quality, there's less contraction in our being. And that supports action in whatever way is then possible for us to do. So, you know, I find this so key in my own practice and my own life. And it tunes us in, you know, compassion, as we've been exploring it this week, is not just empathy. Yeah, this relates to a lot of the questions that we've had, you know, how to not get overwhelmed. Often when we get overwhelmed, it's because the primary thing is the empathetic, really important aspect of compassion, but that's all that is there. Compassion is an active quality. Yeah, the compassion that we're speaking about, karuna, ka, in the Pali terms, the same as karma, comes from the root of activity or action. So it's that wish to alleviate suffering. And that's also sometimes why we get overwhelmed, is because we have that urge to alleviate and we feel helpless in response. And so tuning into that capacity to radiate compassion or to bring self-compassion, as we've been doing, or appreciation, and moving between the two so that we tune into that sense of there's always something we can do. There's always something we can do, even if it doesn't take away all of it, even if we can't see the impact, there's the ripples as we meet with compassion. And we'll talk more about that a little bit after the meditation. And I just want to give an example of that. And then we'll talk a little bit about the practice and practice. So Nathan and I were speaking about this when we were coming back from Palestine on Wednesday, back to Tel Aviv. And we were speaking about our food parcel project, which I think many of you know, but maybe not everyone, which we started in December 2023. So the situation then, which has gotten a lot worse since, is that Israel has stopped all Palestinian workers from coming into Israel to work, which is a huge part of the Palestinian economy in the West Bank. And as a result, people were losing their livelihood, couldn't pay the shops for the food. Now, the shops in Palestine were then running on credit, so they were still giving people food and keeping a tally of what they owed. Yeah, so when I was a child, this is how everything ran. You know, you paid your grocery shop once a week or once a month, not every time that you went. But anyway, and then the shops were so low on funds, they could no longer order more food because they couldn't pay the wholesalers. And so this was like, you know, a chain reaction. And then we were kind of in contact with our friends, and they were saying to us, you know, we could really use some food, you know, for the village. And so we started fundraising for food parcels, and then money came in from people in Israel and internationally, and then that money we gave to our partners in the village, who then ordered the food from the local shops, and then we created this food parcel network. And the beautiful thing about it is you see that initial compassion just keeps rippling through, and actually also dana, compassion and generosity, keeps rippling through the whole system. So the shopkeepers giving credit, people in the village noticing, oh, we're running out of supplies in the shops. Why? Because people can't pay. Oh, we need to do something. Then other people, internationals, Israelis, also people in the village as well, giving money for the food parcels, the food being bought in the local shops, then that gives them enough money to also order more stock in. The shelves are full again. People in the village get food, and everyone gets happiness. Yeah, and this is the important thing. There's not one person in that whole link, you know, that does not receive well-being from this whole chain. So, but there's always something we can do. Yeah, and when we do it, it's helpful to remember ourselves as part of this movement, and some of it is unseen. We don't know. So the wholesalers, we don't know them maybe, but we know they also, you know, it's also supporting their business and supports them to maybe then support other villages as well. So as we practice, let's kind of go into this compassion practice, and I hope this example kind of connects us. How much compassion, interconnection, dana, they're all related to each other. All these beautiful ways of relating and seeing the world. And we can also tune in today as we practice, as we're here, to that deep wish that has brought us here. I said it at the beginning of the session, you know, we're all here. I was saying to Nathan, it's really interesting. I don't know if you've noticed, we're the same number more or less every day. Usually there's a drop off in these sessions sometime in the week, but not this week. Yeah? So that intention of compassion does something. Yeah? That deep wish to alleviate suffering and to bring well-being, and to transform suffering for ourselves and for all beings. This is a resource for us. Yeah? When we tune into it in a wholesome way. And as we attune to it, as we get more skilled with working with it, we grow in capacity. Yeah, we're stronger from within. So the practice I'd like to do today is very, very similar to how the Buddha speaks about metta, compassion, joy, equanimity practice in the texts, which is we tune into the intention and then we just radiate it out. Yeah. So we're going to do that. That's how I'm going to guide it. And as always, feel free to use what works for you. Yeah. Feel free to use what works for you. So if it's going back to beings, self-compassion, appreciation, just the pausing, being with your anchor, any of it, you are the authority on your practice. Yeah, you know what is needed. And that also will be an act of compassion. So we can't escape it. Yeah? If we're tuning in, if we're sensitive, if we're listening in. But we will, will guide us. And for those for whom it's appropriate and follow the practice, we will just be tuning in and then radiating out and letting it grow stronger as we do that. Yeah? And you can radiate as far out as feels possible, beneficial for you. So it might be just to your whole body. And it might be to everyone practicing with us, or to everyone in your neighborhood or in your building, whatever it is, immediate environment, or, just radiating out without kind of any sense of where it's going, where it's stopping. This immeasurable, beautiful quality of compassion. So let's practice together. Sorry for that barrage of words. There's so much to say about this practice. And let's find our posture. So you might already be in your meditation posture, or you may be settling into it. Either way, taking time to settle into the posture. Make any adjustments that are needed so the body is as stable and steady, supported and balanced as possible. As you're doing so, the awareness coming into the body, and we can ground and settle in the body, using the contact sensations if that's helpful. As we've been doing this week, tuning in to the sense of the base of the body, the areas of the body that are in contact with that which supports the body, the ground, the mat, seat if you're in a seated posture. Inviting the attention into these sensations of contact and the awareness to settle, to root and ground. So as we're doing this, the awareness coming into the body, and we can invite it to ground with the base of the body. Feel that support, like the base of a mountain or the roots of a tree. And awareness also opening through the body, spreading. Through the whole body. And into this grounded and open space of the whole body, bringing in our intention, or attuning to our intention. Practice as an act and embodiment of compassion and wisdom. Feeling what that means to you. So let's take a few minutes now in silence just to ground and settle into the practice, and with the body, if it's helpful for you to use another anchor for attention, please do. It can be the breath, sounds, or compassion phrases, anything that's helpful for you. And we'll just take a few minutes in silence to settle with the body and with a sense of presence, with the anchor. So in this moment, just tuning into your experience with the sense of intimacy, of curiosity, whatever is here can be met with curiosity and compassion. It's nothing that is outside of that possibility. We will tune in once more to that intention for our practice, compassion and wisdom, that wish for all beings to be free of suffering. So, feeling into this for yourself, how do you feel it? Maybe dropping in that word, compassion, or may all beings be free of suffering, if that's helpful. Maybe a felt sense, or the kind of images we were using, that soft rain. So as we're practicing, gently keeping that connection with the body, the groundedness and the openness through the body, that whole space, delicate, sensitive space of the body, awareness in the body. As we tune into the intention of compassion, maybe in the heart area or the belly or at the core of our being, tuning into it and letting it radiate. So if imagination is helpful, allow that to be included. If words are helpful, allow them to be included. And finding your way into that sense of our feeling, that intention. And it might feel quite tender. It's okay. And letting it spread out. And it doesn't necessarily take a lot of effort for this radiating to happen. You can imagine as if there's a sun of compassion in your heart or somewhere at the core of your being, and that's just radiating. That's what it does. Or it might be a special kind of cloud that radiates that soft rain of compassion, not just downwards, but in all directions. Or anything else, yeah. An orb of compassion. Radiating out tenderness. So with this practice, our intention is to radiate in all directions, but don't worry too much about this. You may notice that it feels more tangible to radiate in some directions more than in others. We notice, acknowledge, and just keep radiating. May all beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all beings be free. So let's continue practicing, exploring, finding your own way. in some silence for a while. So what's unfolding in experience? Whatever it is, turning towards it. Compassion and wisdom. You can experiment with letting that intention of compassion fill the whole body. May have already happened of itself. So the whole space of the body becoming like an orb of compassionate intention. And that orb is radiating out into the world, sending out that wish, that intention to alleviate suffering. And again, if images are helpful, just use what comes, colors, shapes, frequencies. Or words. Ease, relief. May all beings be free. So it can be helpful to feel that whole body awareness, tender, sensitive, and defined as this orb of awareness, orb of compassion, sphere. That's breathing out, sharing out, sending out, sharing out. Compassionate intent. Like countless hands reaching out into the world to soothe, to care for, to alleviate the causes of suffering. And this can be quite restful, so we don't need to try really hard, noticing if there's efforting, contraction building up, seeing if we can relax that to this whole orb of compassion. It's like a heart beating compassion into the world, or compassionate lungs breathing compassion out into the world. Or like the sun just radiating its own qualities out into the world in all directions. with gentleness and tenderness. Radiating out in all directions. Noticing also how this feels. Maybe some ease and wholesomeness that we can tune in, some well-being as we practice in this way, and letting that nourish practice, nourish the being. Filled with compassion, the whole being, the whole body, radiating compassion in and out, bathed in that compassionate intent. Sharing it out, moment by moment, breath by breath. When the bell rings, that too can be a resonance of compassionate intent. And taking your time and attuning to that intention of compassion as you feel into what's right. As you might change posture or open the eyes, tuning to that intention of compassion radiating through the whole body, through the whole being, and also radiating out.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.